Hello there, my fellow Vault Dwellers. What's up? It's Robbie with Open Games, and we're taking an extensive look at the Fallout 4 QuakeCon demonstration. Thanks to IGN and Game Informer, we have a ton of news to go over, so as always, use that video guide to skip ahead to the special system, perks, companions, story missions, characters, romance, and so much more. We're even going to go over a little bit about Fallout Shelter way later down the road. And remember to subscribe right here to Open World Games because we cover all things Fallout 4 and open world gaming goodness, but let's dive straight into it. So the demonstration kicked off on a funny note. Yes, you can have Mr. Handy call you many different names, including Mr. Boobies and even Fuckface. Now, NPCs will also call you this around the game world, and this is verbal. This is not anything that you just read off on the screen. So you'll be walking around and someone will go, "Hey Fuckface, how are you doing?" Which is pretty funny to hear. So there's going to be several different options for you to choose. There's going to be mainstream names like Robbie, so I could choose that name, of course, if I want to be normal, but I think I'm going to go with Mr. Boobies. No, just kidding. But let me know what you guys want to be called in Fallout 4. I'm extremely curious. Now, also, they described a shot where the dog is actually able to venture with you onto these big airships. And the dog was also wearing a scarf, I guess. So that could indicate that you could customize the dog in some sort of fashion. We will see if that's confirmed. But by the sounds of it, it sounds like that could be a possibility. Now, on to companions. As we know, the dog will be one of your companions. There's going to be over a dozen companions in the game. Now, only one can travel with you at a time. I think that's fair so that the game isn't too easy. Now, we've also seen Preston Garvey, who is the leader of the Commonwealth Minutemen, who carries a signature laser musket. More on that later. And then the next companion that was introduced is Piper. Now, she's a sharply dressed female character who we did see outside of Diamond City. She's wearing a red jacket and gray cap. And apparently she helps you try to get into Diamond City, so she may be useful in negotiations if you lack that skill. So if you haven't invested in that sort of thing, she may be the type of companion that may complement you very, very well. And also, you know, you could romance her. Yes, romance is going to be in Fallout for the first time ever, but no word if you can actually romance the dog. Just kidding, that'd be screwed up. Peta would be all over this game. But she also apparently runs a newspaper and she needs help with it. Now, that help might be something else, but this could be cool. Maybe that you could spread your fame through the newspaper. Who knows? Maybe you can actually arrange how the newspaper looks, and then later down the road explore the world and see her newspaper on display with the articles that you helped with. I'm not too sure if that's going to happen, but knowing Fallout, they go into so much detail with their game world. I really wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. So yeah, companions will also have extensive personalities and memory of your past proceedings with them. So if you screw them over, they will definitely remember it. So I'm very curious to see how that is going to actually affect your game. Maybe they will betray you in battle. Who in the world knows? So we will see how this system actually works out in the future. Now, you know, you don't have to use companions if you don't want to. You could be that lone wanderer. In fact, there are perks that are dedicated to solo play, to that lone wanderer attitude. So you can just roam around without the help of other companions if you want to. Also, opening the Pipboy will now pause the game, and there is a new quick select menu for weapons, which is way better than it was before, and looting no longer pauses the game. So Todd Howard had a ton of new information about the special system and the perk system in Fallout 4. He goes on to say, we have a whole bunch of perks, and those are tied to your special stats. Every time you level up, you get to pick a perk. Now remember that each perk can also be leveled up, which is going to make the replayability of this game incredible, guys. And there's going to be a ton of perks. He goes on to also add that there's going to be such perks that include intimidation, where you can control other people, attack dog, something called vans, which I'm extremely curious about that, sneak, bloody mess, and so many more. Now he goes on to say you have the Vault Tech poster with all of your perks, and there is a separate perk for each special and each value of that special from 1 to 10. Each perk, except for a few exceptions, has multiple ranks. We have combined the previous skill system into this as well. If there are 70 base perks and you add all of the ranks, you're getting around 275 of those. We found that this gets us some really cool different play styles. It's a very, very cool and fun leveling system in the game. Oh boy, it sounds like I'm going to be in Fallout 4 for quite some time. I cannot wait to mess around with my playstyle. I want to be able to survive the world and dish out the damage. Let me know how you guys are going to play. Are going to be the guy that goes out there in the wasteland and stealths it? Please let me know in the comments below. But you know, in the demonstration they moved on. They actually visited a town called Lexington. This had a broken diner and a chemical plant, and also a super duper mart returns. Now, it looked like this business was doing quite well before the explosions, but unfortunately now it is flooded with ghouls. Now there's 2 new enemies confirmed. They are the legendary feral ghoul and another enemy called the roamer. So as they went into the market, we got to look at safe cracking, lock picking, you know, the bobby pins return, and terminal hacking. It seems like these systems are very, very similar to Fallout 3. So if you're into this type of thing, you will definitely enjoy it. I was actually pretty good at the lock picking, so I had no problem with that. My brother Ricky, he had massive problems with the lock picking. Now, what about those weapons? Yes, there are some new weapons which have been confirmed. They include the laser musket, which I spoke briefly about beforehand. This belongs to Preston. Maybe you will actually get to borrow this from him. It's cool because to reload, you actually have to crank a lever, which is pretty neat to see. And the sound effects of the weapons are apparently greatly improved over Fallout 3, which is really exciting to hear. I'm really into sound effects. Star Wars Battlefront does it really well. But anyway, other weapons include night vision rocket launchers, hardened sniper rifles, full auto plasma rifle, and of course that scattered laser musket I spoke about before. And apparently, according to this Reddit user, laser rifles are crazy cool now, to quote him. And you can actually find his Reddit post in the description below. But you know, it appears that factions actually interact with one another now and fight their own wars persistently. So it seems like as you go along and you're exploring, you can run into factions fighting one another. An example of this was ghouls attacking raiders in a power plant. So you just stumble upon this and you've got to decide on what to do. I imagine you'd want to take advantage of all of the chaos. Maybe throw a grenade or 2 in there, or just Fatman them, so that could be an option. But you know, what about the melee weapons? They will be returning big time. You can modify them heavily, but you can also melee attack with your gun now, so you can use the butt of your rifle. And they can also initiate a brutal execution in VATS mode. So that is so cool to hear that you can actually fight even with your gun in close quarters combat. Oh, and also, you know, the Brotherhood returns. They actually came in from one of their vertibirds and landed, and you know, a bunch of them came stumbling out, firing to fend off raiders, and fought alongside the player. We also did get to see the Fatman demonstrated, which took out a massive behemoth in the demonstration. Now, the demo closed there, unfortunately, but they did say that, you know, Fallout Shelter, for those of you wondering about Fallout Shelter, which is the app that you can play, it is now going to be available on Android starting August 13th. They're going to be adding a ton of different things to it, including new enemies, attacks, and more. And also, we will be seeing death claws in Fallout Shelter. And Mr. Handy will be helping you out. He is actually a reward in the game, and he will pick up resources as you play. So there you have it, my fellow Vault Dwellers and Wasteland Wanderers. All the latest Fallout 4 news. Guys, stay tuned here to Open World Games, because we will have extensive coverage of Fallout 4. Subscribe right here. Follow me out on Twitter. We can talk about all things Fallout 4 and so much more. Don't be afraid, by the way, to leave your comment down below, because it could potentially end up in a future Fallout 4 video. But so excited for this game. Remember, November 10th is going to be a day to celebrate because that is when the game releases. It is the return of Fallout. But again, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. And guys, I will see you soon enough in the Wastelands.
Atom bomb baby, before she can start.